She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Barbie, Chloe, period I, period 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 I, period. Got my name up in your mouth, you don't know no better. Don't forget I'm from the south, yeah, I got them headers. You watching everything I do, studying all of my moves. Wish you could do what I do. Period I, period period I, period period I, period period I, period.
Hello, Queen Esquire Squad. I know everyone is wondering, where have I been? I know I have been out, gone. I just started a new job, so I was really busy with my career as an attorney. So I haven't been around, but I do want to get back into the mode of doing lives. I missed you, my Queen Esquire Squad. How is everybody doing? We are going to get back in action in our stories. My career has just been very demanding. Of course, as you know, as an attorney, I work very extensive hours, and that's pretty much why I haven't been live. But today I wanted to come and talk about a story that's been in the news. It's been very sad and tragic. And it's caused a lot of racial division and divide. And I wanted to bring it to your attention and us discuss it as a group. So let's get started actually talking about it. And let me know if any of you have heard about this story. But I'm going to put this picture on the screen here of this young man who is in a lot of hot water right now. And it's actually very sad because this young kid here had a promising career ahead of him. And it took one bad decision in his life that has now landed him in jail. And so I wanted to talk about this, and I wanted to get your perspective on it because it's actually very sad. So who is this kid on the screen? I don't know if you guys have heard this story, but it's gone pretty viral. This kid's name is Carmelo Anthony, and he lives in Texas. He is 17 years old. He is, a 3.7 student. He's from Frisco, Texas. And this kid here he's raised in a very great family in Texas. He has his mother and father who's raising him. Actually, let's get into the article that we have on this. But it's a very sad story because what's going on in our society is we're seeing a lot of racial divide in our community because of this very sad story. So I wanted to go and talk to you guys about it. I don't know if you guys have heard about this story. So let's see here. I'm going to try to find the video, if you don't mind. Here, let's see. Okay, let's get into the article. So here's a picture of this young man. So basically, what happened is this young man went to a track meet at school, and he ended up finding himself on the wrong side of the field, basically. He went into a tent area And the reason why he was there in the tent area is because he was trying to get out of the rain. So as he was trying to get out of the rain, let's see if they actually have a photo here of the actual area. I don't think they do on here. Yeah, not in this article, but he was trying to get out of the rain. And so he ended up on the other side with around twin boys in this tent. But it wasn't his team's tent that he ended up finding himself in. And while he was there, unfortunately, he was approached by two tall twin brothers. And actually, let me see if I can show you guys a picture of the twin brothers here. Let's see. Here, let's see. Let's see, where is he? This article doesn't have it, so unfortunately, I want to try to show. So I'll go ahead and take this one off. Or actually, let's just read this article and then we'll get into the story. But it was two twin brothers. The two twin brothers are Caucasian, a little taller. They are football players. It actually probably makes better sense to show you guys a picture. I was going to just read the article, but it makes sense to show you guys the picture because it adds context. So I will try to see if I can find a good picture of them. Okay, I guess I could use this here to show you all the players. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of still getting back into the mode of everything, so I might be a little slower on my end. Okay, so here's the two twin brothers here. So these two twin brothers approached this kid who is in the tent. And the reason why he went to the tent, which was not on his side of the field, he doesn't go to that school where he was. But the reason why he was there, because it started to rain. And so he was trying to get out of the rain. So he ended up sitting in the area of the tent where he didn't belong, basically. So these two twin brothers, they're pretty tall boys. They approach our young man here, Carmelo. And this boy right here is the one that actually approached Carmelo. I'm trying to use my mouse to show. Oh, sorry, this is not the one. This is the one right here. So actually the same, they're twins, so it's kind of hard to tell who's who. But this young man here, he approaches Anthony and he basically says, hey, you're in the wrong spot. You need to move. And so Carmelo says, well, make me. And so this young man walks up to him aggressively. And this is all allegedly because none of us was there. There's allegedly video, but the video wasn't released. Some witnesses are saying that this young boy here, who's the twin, was aggressive towards Carmelo, and Carmelo was being defensive and said, well, come make me move, basically. So this young man gets up and he walks towards Carmelo. He grabs, allegedly, what witnesses are saying is he grabs Carmelo's belongings, throws it to the ground, breaks his phone, and apparently pushes Carmelo. This is what some witnesses are saying. Again, none of us was there. There's two sides to the story. So this is one side from one end, and I'm going to give you the other side. While this is happening, the boy Carmelo had already grabbed something out of his backpack before his backpack was thrown to the ground. And he stabs this boy here in the chest, basically in the heart. And as he falls down, his twin brother comes and tries to stop the blood. And sadly, this young man passes away. When Carmelo was arrested, Carmelo made an admission to the officers. He told the officers that basically the young man here was basically attacking him first. That's what he said. And that it wasn't an allegation that this happened. He actually was the one who did it. So he admitted to it. And he said that this young man attacked him first, but he did ask the officers whether this young man was okay. Now, this young man here is facing first degree, you know what, murder. We can't say it on the channel. but he is now facing first-degree charges with $1 million bail. This has basically struck a racial divide. Okay, there's some people on one side saying this young man was defending himself. On the other side, in the more lighter community, if you know what I mean, they're saying that he was aggressive, he was angry, and they're painting him in a negative light. So I think this is a very important story to cover and talk about because it really has caused a lot of racial divide. So here is the police report here. And we can go over this police report first to kind of get the details from the law enforcement's perspective. And Officer Eduardo Cortez, he came to the scene. It's showing here that Carmelo Sincere Anthony is 17 years old. And let's see here. He's facing the harshest crime. And here, I would say as a prior criminal prosecutor, I think this charge is excessive, in my humble opinion, because they don't have direct proof that this was first degree MURDER. I think the proper charge should have been voluntary manslaughter, because at this time, we don't have direct proof that he intended to unalive this young man. For example, he did ask whether the young man was okay. This indicates to me that he actually was trying to see if he was alive and he was okay. That means he didn't have an underlying intent to take this man out, basically. However, on the other end, the prosecutor's probably thinking about it from a perspective of, well, he stabbed this young boy in the heart. And I'm calling him a young boy, but he's 7. He was a teenager too, okay? Stabbed him in the heart. That is definitely an area where someone can be their life taken. And not only did he stab him in the heart, but he had the knife in his hand and basically invited the young man to come and talk, to basically approach him. He said, do something about it and see what happens. That's what witnesses are saying. And so the prosecutor's coming from the perspective of Carmelo knew that he was going to stab him as soon as the young man approached him. So that's kind of the perspectives we have here. This is Texas. He's an African-American boy. They're going to throw the book at this poor boy. It's sad because the background of this kid is he's a 3.7 student. He is a football player. He had a lot of scholarships. A lot of schools were looking at him to go to the school. He is raised by his mother and father. He has a beautiful family, actually. Raised by his mother and father, and he has, a lot of siblings. His family seems like a very wholesome family from what I've seen. But we're going to go into some background posts that we see about him a little later. So based on this police report, it happened on April 2nd, 2025 at 10:01 hours. They said Stately School Resource Officer E. Cortez heard over the radio dispatch call about a stabbing call at David, that's an interesting name, Kendall Stadium. So let's go to, let's see. They arrived at the scene and they conducted another pat down of a person, and then they searched the person after he gave me consent. No weapons were located. So at this time, when they searched Carmelo, they couldn't find the knife. Basically, the knife, he discarded it somewhere. That's why. So they had to go search for it after the incident. While the suspect sat on the ground, I advised that I had the alleged suspect. The suspect then responds and says, I'm not alleged. I did it. So he admitted to it. That's going to be hard for his attorney to defend him in court because he basically admitted it. But I think the defense attorney is going to come from the perspective of, yes, he did this, but he did it in self-defense. I think that's what their argument is going to be. That's what they're arguing now. We'll go into a little bit later whether that self-defense claim is strong enough, though, or will it sustain in a courtroom? So they basically said, next, Officer Ritchie and I walked the suspect to patrol vehicle, which was on the northeast gate of the stadium. As we were walking to the squad car, the suspect was emotional and said he put his hands on me. I told him not to. I did not question the suspect about the incident while he was escorted to the patrol vehicle. I searched this person once again, and I had him sit in the back seat area, driver's side of patrol vehicle 2412. While the suspect was in the back seat, I noticed fresh blood on his side middle finger. I verbally acknowledged that I saw the blood out loud so that it would be captured on body-worn camera. It should also be noted that the suspect asked me, "Is he going to be okay?" while he was in the back seat. See those key words there, "is he going to be okay?" That to me, as the defense attorney, I would use those to argue that, use those key words to argue that this young man, Carmelo, never intended to unalive this boy. He just wanted to get him to stop attacking him. Apparently, witnesses are saying the two twins were trying to jump him. But again, there's people on the other side saying that Carmelo was just angry and just stabbed him, because a lot of people were saying, well, why did this young boy come with a knife to a track meet? And the parents of Carmelo are saying that the reason why he was carrying a knife is because he works two jobs. And we're actually going to get, there's a post about it. He works two jobs, and so he carries it for protection. I'm not sure if he was coming from work when he came to the track meet, and so maybe he just had it in his bag. And we do have to understand the background area that we're dealing with. Texas is a open carry state. So, I mean, everybody's carrying firearms there. So I don't see why it's abnormal for someone to have a firearm. But again, in this situation, Carmelo's a 17-year-old teenager. Why does he have a knife? That is a big question I have for the parents. Now, I do know he comes from a very great background from his parents, but I want to know why his parents weren't talking to him about carrying a firearm. There has to be more to the story about why he had the firearm. And his defense attorney is going to have to address that during the trial. So anyways, basically the suspect was sitting in the back seat of the patrol car, and the officers noted a fresh blood on his left middle finger. So it looks like, I don't know if that came from the knife or maybe from the attack from the boy, the victim. But apparently that was a bruise that he had. The officer said, "I verbally acknowledged that I saw the blood out loud so that it would be captured by the body-worn camera. It should be noted that the suspect asked me, 'Is he going to be okay?' while he was in the back seat. I then identified the suspect. He provided his name and date of birth verbally as Carmelo Anthony, black male, with a date of birth of which I ran through the dispatch. Officer Hancock arrived on the scene and remained with me and the suspect at this point. Carmelo then checked in to also confirm his identity. The identity information he provided matched the individual I had in custody. Next, I was advised by Sergeant Holland to transport the suspect to Frisco PD. Officer Hancock and I transported him to the jail. Again, I did not question Carmelo about the incident. Upon arriving, Carmelo was escorted to intake, and staff changed him out into his jail attire. And you guys to understand how traumatic this is for this boy, because he's a good kid. He's never been to jail. He's never done any criminal activity. He doesn't have a criminal record. He's a good kid. Like I said, 3.7 GPA. So to be in jail has to be traumatic for him, to be in a situation like that, but to realize he has to face the consequences of what he did and is facing pretty much life in prison. It has to be traumatic for him, a kid who was at a track meet, working two jobs, coming, just enjoying himself, and then comes across a situation like this. But I'm going to present to you guys, what do you guys think about this? Do you think he made the right decision to stab a kid, or what should he have done? I want to hear from your perspective. But let's keep proceeding on. So the clothes that Carmelo was wearing was placed in a paper evidence bag. The clothes remained in the officer's possession from this point on. Upon Carmelo being placed into a jail cell, I continued to keep possession of his clothes. I returned to the patrol 2412 along with Officer Hancock, who was in blah, blah, blah. This is all like a lot of stuff. So they drove there. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, supplemental. I was wearing a full police uniform. I was operating a fully marked police vehicle. I was dispatched to report to the report of the stabbing. of David. So that's the victim's name. Or sorry, that's not the victim's name. Sorry, at the stadium. Okay, they said that the suspect was described as a black male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt. Blue sweatshirts are responded code 3 from the area of El Dorado Parkway. Let's see. They saw Officer Cortez kneeling next to a black male wearing a gray hoodie, identified as Carmelo Anthony, and they put him in handcuffs. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's pretty much. Okay, let's see if there's anything else they have on this. Let's see. A lot of this is just kind of background. I wanted to see if they had witnesses' statements. That would be helpful. Because they said that a lot of people saw it. He was relatively close to the call and placed him. Let's see. That's not much. Yeah, this doesn't really have statements about witnesses. Okay. The weather began to turn and it began to heavily downpour rain at this time. Some of the staff moved the memorial tent to cover the victim. Okay. It's very sad. They began using city-issued phone to snap crime scene photos to preserve the scene. So that's when they were rendering aid to the victim. Let's see. They found the knife elsewhere. They looked around and found the knife because, again, the kids stashed the knife. So that's pretty much the background, guys, of what happened. I don't think there's anything in here about the witnesses. But apparently there's a video, and I'm questioning why the video hasn't been released. Everybody takes videos of everything. So I just have an issue with why haven't people taken videos? So this young man here, Kevin Hayes, he is a family member of the victim. I'm sorry, of the defendant. Let's say the defendant of Carmelo. He is a family member. So there has been a lot of hate information, and we're going to go into actually an interview from the mom of the victim and the twin brother. But this man here is a family member of Carmelo, because basically there was a huge flurry of people that are attacking the defendant, Carmelo. Rightly so. I understand people are enraged, but they have turned this tragedy of two boys who just had a confrontation, and of course they turned it into a race thing. They're trying to basically say it was an angry black boy who did this, when in reality, it's just two boys who had a confrontation. A very tragic situation, because on one end, the young man here, both boys were in the wrong. Let's just say that. Both boys were in the wrong. Let's see, I got some pictures. This is Austin, the victim, Austin Metcalf. So people are basically alleging that these two twin boys are bullies. They are aggressors. And again, I don't know that if what's true or not. These are all allegations. Okay. Because again, we don't know. We're not going to know what happened until the trial, but people are saying that the twins are aggressive kids and they aggressively approached Carmelo and told Carmelo he needed to leave. Now, the tent did not belong to this beloved victim. May he rest in peace. It belonged to the school. And it was, of course, Austin's side of that was his tent. Not his tent, sorry. He was in the right tent because he was in his school's tent. And Carmelo just went and got under the tent because it was raining. He was trying to get out of the rain, basically. So Austin approaching Carmelo aggressively, telling him he needed to leave, and then proceeding to grab Carmelo's belongings, throw his phone, ignited a confrontation that would have otherwise been avoided had Austin went and spoke to a teacher or a coach or someone, to have an adult come and approach Carmelo and tell Carmelo to leave the premises. But what people are saying is these twins are known to be very aggressive. Now, this is not a victim blaming, because again, I don't know what happened, but I'm just saying what people are saying. And on the other side, there could be argued that why did Carmelo bring a knife to a track meet? The level of force that he used on this young boy didn't match the level of force that was used upon him. I mean, the young boy allegedly, and again, I don't know if this is true. We're going to get into these pictures too a little later, guys, because there's some pictures here. So here's some pictures that people are showing, because on both sides, we've got a lot of people trying to tarnish the characters of everybody. So on one side, we've got the Black community and other people showing pictures of the Austin twins saying, hey, you guys are posting all of these negative photos about Carmelo. Here, I'll show you here. They're posting negative photos about Carmelo here. With this, this is not a real gun. It's like I forgot what they called it, an air type of gun. I don't know what it's called, but allegedly they say it's not a real gun. So people are trying to tarnish the boy, Carmelo. They're saying he was some angry Black boy and he's got firearms, and look at him showing his middle finger. And he should be tried as an adult, rightly so. So then there's other people on the other side posting these pictures saying, hey, the twins are not so innocent. They have firearms. They're just as aggressive. They're bullies. So they're basically trying to say, hey, they're not as innocent as people are saying they are. We got people on here using racial slurs. If you guys probably can't see it now, but they're using racial slurs, using the N-word, and a lot of stereotypes being spewed on both sides. It's actually a very sad situation. It's so bad that the victim's father had to get involved. So you can see right here, they're using racial, see that? Racial words. It just really has struck this racial war and division. And it's not necessary. And that's why I wanted to bring this one up to you guys to say why, when there's two boys, I don't think these boys were looking at each other as, oh, you're a Black kid or oh, you're a white kid. Both kids were in the wrong. Carmelo should have never brought a knife to a track meet. And this young man here, Austin, rest his soul, and may he rest in peace. It's so sad his life was taken. He should have never approached this kid and became aggressive. Both kids were wrong. But for Austin approaching and pushing this Carmelo wouldn't have felt threatened and used a knife. But Carmelo should have never pulled out the knife. He's saying he acted in self-defense, but the law, unfortunately, is not going to acknowledge that, because using a knife when Austin merely just pushed him is not the same level of force that Austin used. But the sad part is, because we're in this climate, and here you can see this is the victim with his mom. They were identical twins. His brother was holding on to him, trying to make the bleeding stop, and he died in his brother's arms. It's so sad. Imagine these are identical twins, and you guys know how close identical twins are. They see life through each other's lenses. They don't, like, usually twins do everything together. So imagine it's like his brother lost his other half. And so Hunter Metcalf is I can't say their last name, guys. Hunter is the twin brother of the victim. He called his parents to tell them about the stabbing, with their father rushing to find Austin on a gurney and not breathing. And he said, I could see all the blood and I saw where the wound was, and I was very concerned. So I had to find his brother. We rushed to the hospital. We prayed. It's God's plan. I don't understand it, but they weren't able to save him. This is, the M word, and that's the father. But it's so sad that they took this tragedy and now they're turning it into, oh, this Black kid murdered this or unalived this white kid. And the father had to step in, the victim's father had to step in and say, hey, it's not about race. It's about two boys, first of all, that got into a confrontation and it turned deadly. But it's very sad. Let's read some comments because like I said, there's a lot of racial divide. It's caused a huge tension, and we're already dealing with in America a lot of racial divide as it is with the president we have. So this has just made things worse. So let's see what this young lady said here. She said the amount of people posting the wrong story about Carmelo is sick. Them twins were bullies. They just ran up on the wrong one. Get the facts straight before you talk. They father cap. Sometimes they write this stuff, guys, and the grammar is terrible. He knew exactly who his son was. They put them hands. Oh goodness, how they write. They put their hands on him and got poked. Let's stop acting like Carmelo was the aggressor because he was not. He was defending himself. And yeah, like I was saying, Austin had no business approaching Carmelo, even if Carmelo was in the wrong tent. Kids do it all the time. How many times, you guys, have we gone to different sports games and was sitting on the different side, like where the other team was? Sometimes people do it all the time. Sometimes people will be voting for the Dodgers and they'll be on the other side. They'll be on the total other side of the with the wrong team. It doesn't mean that person has to leave. They can be where they want to be. And especially if this kid doesn't own that tent. He could have went and talked to an adult and said, hey, this kid doesn't belong over here. Can you please make him move to the other side? But people are saying that this kid was bullying and him and his twin was basically trying to attack the young man. And again, we don't even know if this is true. These are all allegations. But this young lady is alleging that basically there's misinformation online. She says this is the information she's trying to clarify. She says it's normal for students from different schools to gather under another school's tent. Okay, so they typically do gather under each other's tents. And in this case, I understand why Carmelo gathered in that tent. The reason why he went to that tent because it was raining. He was just trying to get out of the rain, guys. That's it. He was just trying to stay warm while it was raining, really hard. Outside, and he wanted to just find a place to stay dry. That's all. So again, it kind of sounds like Austin just wanted to pick a fight with Carmelo. And again, Carmelo was there knowing he had the knife ready to use it as well. So that is something, we need to teach our kids about, not being ready to use violent, like very aggressive, deadly force on someone. We have to really sit down and talk to our children and communicate with them what really is self-defense, because I think our children don't understand what self-defense is. And just by someone approaching you or throwing your items or breaking your phone or maybe pushing you, that does not amount to using a knife. So anyways, let's keep reading. Carmelo had friends there. He wasn't trespassing or looking for trouble. The claim that one of the twins never seen Carmelo before, a blatant lie. So people are saying, basically, we're going to look at an interview from the twin brother. And the twin brother is saying that they've never seen Carmelo in their life. But there was actually a photo floating around online showing Carmelo in prior photos with the twins. So it appears that the twin brother, who is still alive, is not being fully honest about everything. So that is going to be an issue at trial with corroborating the information if individuals aren't being honest about what occurred. So moving on. Number 3, no student has the right to remove another student from a school-owned tent. The school owns the tent, not the twins. Exactly. And that's what I was saying, is that we have to teach our kids how to make proper decision making. And that is, if someone's in the wrong place or you think they're in the wrong place, talk to an adult. Carmelo didn't appear to be bothering anyone. It seems like he wasn't causing any noise. He wasn't disrupting anyone. He was just sitting there to get out the rain. So it seems like Austin initiated this aggressive situation to pick a fight with this young man and ended up losing his life, as sad as it is. And he should not have lost his life, because again, I don't feel Carmelo was in the right to stab him either. Why couldn't he push Austin back? First of all, I don't condone violence at all. Let me be honest. But I'm saying, if Carmelo says he felt threatened, as he's claiming, why didn't he just push the young boy? Not instead of instead of using a knife. A knife seems a little bit extreme. And again, this is because because kids don't have the mental decision making that we as adults have, and some adults don't even have that. They lack that as well. So anyways, moving on to number 4. Carmelo is a track athlete. The twins are not. He wasn't even expecting to see them there. Okay, so this makes sense. So the reason why Carmelo was there in the first place is because he was actually a part of the event. He was a part of the track athletes. These twins weren't track athletes. They're football players. So it didn't make sense for them to even be there either. So they're trying to tell Carmelo to leave, but they weren't supposed to be there either. Well, why are they there? Now, here's what they don't want you to know. The twins didn't just ask him to leave. They tried to jump him, allegedly. That's what they're saying. Before attacking him, they tried to take his belongings, broke his phone, and stomped on it, allegedly. The twins are known bullies, allegedly. So that is the rumor, and we'll see if they corroborate this in court. But people are saying that the character of these two boys are known to be bullies, allegedly, that they go around picking fights with people because they're more on the bigger side. They're 200-pound athletic football players. And so they were bigger than Carmelo. So maybe Carmelo felt like he was in a physical danger because there's 200-pound, I don't know if they're about 5'9" tall boys that are athletic football players coming and approaching them, maybe approaching him, and he's the only one there. He probably felt afraid. I don't know, maybe afraid for his safety. And again, we don't know the history of this young boy, Carmelo's relationship with these twins, because apparently he knew the twins. And again, a lot of people are saying a lot of things, but some people are saying that these twins have bullied him in the past. So we don't know if that's true. But let's just get all the allegations out and figure out what's going on here. Because again, we're trying to present this as if this is a trial. So this is one witness's testimony. We'll hear what the other side is saying. But she's saying, so ask yourself, if 200-pound attackers came at your child, what would you expect them to do? And yet, despite everything, the media is trying to destroy Carmelo's name. They keep posting a picture of him with an airsoft gun. Okay, so they're saying that gun that I showed you in the photo was an airsoft gun, not even a real firearm to manipulate public perception. Why? Because they want to paint him as a criminal instead of a victim. Let's talk about who Carmelo really is. A respectful, well-mannered young man, a 4.0 student with multiple college offers, a kid with zero criminal history, not even a blemish, a son raised in a loving home by parents who taught him right from wrong. A life was lost, and that is tragic. But what's also tragic is the way the media is twisting the story to fit their own agenda. Carmelo defended himself against violent aggressors. That is not a crime. Do not let the media race bait you. Do not let them manipulate the facts. Justice will prevail. Now, this is sad because a lot of people are saying it's self-defense. And maybe in his mind and in the public's mind, they think it's self-defense. But as I said, under the law, self-defense is defined in a certain way. Now, here you can see the twins, the victim here with his father. His father is a very great man. I'm just going to say it. Based on the interview I've seen of him, he came out and he came forward. And number one, he said that he forgave Carmelo, which that is huge, because how do you forgive somebody who takes your son, your twin son at that? Like, that is crazy to me. Look how big these boys are. They're like towering over their dad. Like, they're pretty big, bulky boys. I mean, imagine those two boys approaching this young boy. I mean, they're all 17. Carmelo was probably scared. But again, even if he was scared, why use a knife? That's where the court's going to have a problem. And he's in Texas, and there's a lot of racial division in Texas. They're gonna throw the book at that poor boy. But again, this father lost a son and this brother lost a son. So both sides don't win. This is a very sad situation for both sides. Both sides were wrong. It's sad that one ended up losing their life, but both sides were wrong. And the public is touting self-defense. I understand Carmelo was scared. I get it that he probably felt very terrified of these two bigger boys towering over him, threatening him. But to use a knife is where the court's going to have a problem, is where the jury is going to have a problem. But these are two big boys, I have to say, guys, and I can see where Carmelo would be intimidated. Somebody commented in here, thugs to me. So there's a lot of back and forth war going on with trying to destroy the character of both sides of individuals. This is an actual still shot photo of Carmelo, who is being arrested by the officers in this photo after the attack. It's sad. It's like a lot of, like, you can see these comments, guys, just using the N-word and a lot of racial things. This lady here says, you laughing at this picture, but you let a black man let off a load all over you. Ew, whoa, what kind of stuff? Whoa. It's very sad seeing the racial divide here. I didn't want to finish reading that. You can see this innocent face. This kid really has not been in trouble a day of his life. Imagine a kid who's have received everything he ever wanted. This kid is spoiled. I'm trying to see if I can find the picture of his family, because his family, y'all, he is spoiled. I mean, he literally had everything he wanted. He has a really beautiful family. I'm trying to see if I can find the photo. If I can find it, hopefully somewhere. It's on TikTok if I don't end up finding it. But he went to Disneyland. His family would take him everywhere. His mother and dad looked like they were pretty well off career individuals. So he wasn't some type of kid that was getting in trouble. He actually was doing things right. He was listening to his parents. He was going to school. He was a great student. Actually, we're going to look at some of the different characters of this kid, because what I would say is we want to look at the sides of both individuals, and we want to look at them as the humans that they are, not just the way people are painting these kids to be, and not just because one kid is black and one kid is white, because it seems there's a lot of racial hatred because of the two different ethnicities going on here, and because of the racial climate and sensitivity that we're dealing with in our society. It's just so disturbing and sad what we're seeing going on. I was trying to see if I can find a photo of the parents, guys. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it for this live, but if you guys have a TikTok, you guys could just look up Carmelo's parents, and he has a beautiful family. Like this kid has lived a good childhood. He has stayed in school. He's done everything right. He obeys his parents. He actually helped a kid who was drowning. That I'm going to show you that story. So he's a kid that looks out for other people, defends other people. I'm actually going to show you a video of that. Imagine that. And now this kid is facing a first degree, you know what, over a situation that could have been avoided from both sides. But you have to think, children don't have that type of rational thinking that we as adults are supposed to have. And I say supposed to because some people out here act a hot mess. I mean, it was just a fight at a Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, we had a whole group of people fighting and having a brawl at Chuck E. Cheese. So guys, we don't even know. Parents out here acting a fool too, guys. So all around, this kid, imagine he had a bright future. He was going to be going to college. He was probably going to find his way, maybe even in the NBA one day. Who knows? He was a pretty good athlete. And now that's going to be all gone. The first time in his life, he's in a prison cell, never to think he'd be there, away from his parents. And now everybody's treating him like a criminal. And he probably never imagined that he was going to unalive somebody. You know, that probably was the farthest thing from his head. And he's probably in that jail cell beating himself up like, why did I do that? What did I do? Like, you know what I mean? What did I do? I never, intended to do that. Okay, guys, I found a photo of his beautiful family here. Let me see. This is his. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a picture of his family. But look at his face. He looks so shocked. Like, why and where and what the heck did I get myself into? Look at his face. Like, I can't believe this. Like, he probably didn't even intend for the kid to be unalived. So, oh gosh, it's so sad, guys. This is a sad story for both people. Look, to see this, the other kid's life is gone. And now, oh gosh. So this is, it's kind of an old picture of his family, guys. So forgive the old picture, but this is his dad and this is his mom. They're such a beautiful family. And those are his siblings there. Again, this is an old picture. So, I don't really have the recent picture. And this is, him when he was little. So his parents, especially his father, Drew, cheered him on every step of the way as he succeeded in football and track. So Carmelo was a track star and he is in football. So let's read a little bit about him. I want to give a story about both sides so we can really get to know each individual involved. So they said a promising star, Carmelo Anthony's journey from rising talent to shocking crime leaves parents and community devastated in one heartbreaking moment. Carmelo, once a talented student athlete with a promising future, saw his life change on March 2nd, 2025. I think it was supposed to be April 2nd. They got the date wrong. When an act of violence shattered his family's dreams, leaving his family and community in shock. Born on May 11, 2007 in Frisco, Texas, to Drew Anthony and Kayla Hayes Anthony, Carmelo grew up as the eldest of three siblings in a tight-knit Christian household. So it looks like he was raised the right way. He was raised by Christian parents. He probably went to church every Sunday. Parents, was very involved in his life. So it's not like this kid's a thug. This kid's not out here, getting into trouble. This kid actually legit had good family in the background. His parents, especially his father, Drew, cheered him on every step of the way as he succeeded in football and track. And before I continue on, I want people to know I'm not defending Carmelo for unaliving someone, and I'm not defending either side. I'm not taking either side. I'm just looking at it from both perspectives so we can get a full picture. And then you guys can come in and chime and give your opinions. Carmelo's story begins with his parents, Drew and Kayla Anthony. Drew, originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, rose to a career as a general sales manager at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and brought a strong work ethic and charisma to the family. So look at that. Rose is a general sales manager for a really great, car dealership. Kayla, a devoted mother, helped raise Carmelo and his two young brothers and his sister with love and faith at the core of their home. The Anthony family lived deeply religious, and their values shaped Carmelo into the incredible person his parents adored. Thank you for being such a shining light in my life, Carmelo, Drew once said, beaming with pride over his son's achievements. As the nephew of Andrew Anthony, a former LSU defensive end and current head football coach at Bonneville Bruin football, Carmelo seemed destined for athletic greatness. So, wow, guys, his father, they're deeply religious. His dad was a former LSU defensive end. So his dad was an athlete too. So he got his athletic football skills from his father. So and here's a picture of him here at one of his track meets. So again, this is not just a kid that's out here being a thug. He's a legit good kid that ended up finding himself in a very bad situation. That's why it's important that we really sit our kids down and talk to them about decision making. Talk to them about how we handle conflict. Talk to them about about the law, guys, about the law and about what self-defense really means in our country. We have to really talk to our kids because these kids can be legit good children, but we have to communicate with them certain, choices that they make, especially in situations like this, so that we can prevent tragedies like this. Because I guarantee you, Carmelo really thinks in his mind that he was, engaging in legal self-defense, but he doesn't know the law. He doesn't know what self-defense really is. And that's understandable because he's still a kid. But again, we have to sit and talk to our kids about that, because kids are constantly being bullied at school. They're constantly being picked on. And so you gotta talk to them and educate them about, well, what do you do if someone bullies you? What type of force do you use? Because a mere push in this situation, and especially if you have African American kids, you have to speak to them about the laws and how the criminal justice system doesn't treat African Americans to the same level of justice and fortitude that they treat other ethnic groups. So in particular, African Americans are going to be treated with harsher penalties. As you can see in this situation, this is a perfect prime example. I mean, this kid got charged with first-degree murder. I guarantee you, if a Caucasian kid did the same thing this kid did, he probably would have been charged with manslaughter, hands down. Hands down, he would have initially out the gate been charged with manslaughter, and he for sure wouldn't have received a $1 million bail. I think that $1 million bail is, But again, I'm not defending. I'm just looking at from both sides. Both sides. We're going to talk about the twins too and look at their background as well. Drew Carmelo's biggest cheerleader often took to social media to celebrate his son's success. From standout performances as a running back for the Titans football team to a speed on the track at Centennial High School. So wow, his parents, okay, so you got to imagine this. His parents would at all his football games. He followed in the footsteps of his dad, who was a skillful football player. They're very actively involved in their child's achievements. Even on Carmelo's birthday, his father surprised him with a Lexus IS 250. So this kid is, he's really receiving great things from his parents. He got a Lexus, guys. Well, imagine, for his birthday, symbolizing the family's pride in their he's a 6 foot tall, beloved eldest son. So he's pretty tall. I didn't know he was taller. And for some reason, I didn't think that. So he is about the same height as the twin brothers. But again, there's 2 twin brothers against 1. So I'm trying to analyze this. Yeah, we got to really look at that because that's going to be a key issue at the trial. So he is 6 feet tall. He's about their height. But imagine him having to fight 2 twins. That's a lot. Okay, so Carmelo's journey through high school highlighted his talents and decision. He played football at Liberty Magnet High School from 2021 to 2024 before transferring to Centennial High School in 2022. As a member of the class of 2025, he quickly made a name for himself on the field and track. Colleges took notice too. Texas Lutheran University, McPherson College, and Centenary College all extended offers to the promising athlete. To his parents, Carmelo wasn't just a star. He was a kind, hardworking young man who filled their hearts with happiness and gratitude. So they're going to go into the story, but I want to see what they have to say here. They said it turned out to be a day that changed everything, which was actually April 2nd. I don't know why they have March 2nd. Carmelo, then 17, was at a track and field at Frisco ISD Stadium where he often shined. What happened that day was beyond anything anyone could have imagined. During the event, Carmelo stabbed 16-year-old Austin McCalf, a fellow Frisco Independent School District student athlete, in a sudden violent conflict. And people are saying, say his name. Austin McCalf, 17, high achieving. So Austin is also a high achieving athlete. The victim had a 4.0 GPA as well. So these are both good kids. Both of them have high GPAs, 4.0, guys. Wow. And Austin was a great football player. So these are kids who are both very highly accomplished kids. 17-year-old white student was fatally stabbed by, and look how they're making this all about race. It's so disgusting. Why can't we take the race out of this? These are just two boys, 4.0, great athlete kids who made bad choices, both of them. This whole race thing is just sickening to me, because if we just take that out of it and look at it as a humanity situation, we would see the bigger issue here in America, and that is our decision making and quick impulses. We even have adults out here doing the same thing. These kids, where are these kids getting the violence from? They're seeing it from adults. Okay. So anyways, during a high school track meet in Frisco, take cover now. So here he is. Here's a photo here too of the tent that I was trying to show you guys. I don't know if you guys can see. What can you guys see right now? Oh, you guys can't see it, but it's kind of small there. Here, look, you can see the tent in this area. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. So this is where all this stuff happened, guys. So Carmelo went and sat in this tent right here with the twins. And this is not his team. But it was raining, so he was just trying to find the quickest tent he can find to just get out the rain. He wasn't trying to bother them or be in their way. But the Austin twins weren't having it. They were like, you need to get up and leave. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's something going on here for why these kids felt the need to exert this violence. I think this is where, I don't know what this is where. Is that where the kids were? I think that's because after the twin was stabbed, he ran. He ran and he told his twin brother that he had been stabbed. And then that's when his twin brother came and tried to stop the blood. So that's one thing. They said that despite efforts to save him, including CPR, blood administration by first responders, Austin didn't survive. That is so sad. Oh my God, that's sad. Oh, all about choices, y'all. Choices, choices, choices. We have to really talk to our kids. We have to talk to them about the judicial system, because one choice, whether it was intentional or not, can lead to a lifetime of misery. This poor kid, none of them should be where they are right now. It's so sad. Whew. So Carmelo was arrested, charged with first-degree unaliving, destroying the future his parents had predicted for him. The details of what happened remain unclear, and the situation is confused by grief and confusion. Witnesses say the incident began over a trivial, very small dispute about seating in the stands. Austin's father, which is the victim, his father says his son told Carmelo he was in the wrong spot. Now, again, that was not the twins' place to say that. People, apparently, kids are in the wrong spot all the time. Nobody should tell anybody where to sit. Carmelo allegedly responded by pulling a knife and stabbing Austin in the chest. Now, again, this part right here, people are saying is not what fully happened. They're saying that Austin was aggressive first, and that's when he pulled out the knife in response to the aggression. So this is where the trial is going to have to really play out, allegedly, to find out what really happened, what led to the knife, what led to the stabbing, what led to this whole situation. Why did he pull out the knife in the first place? Okay. Austin's twin brother, Hunter, watched in horror and tried to stop the bleeding, but it was too late. Questions swirl about how Carmelo brought a knife into the event and what exactly sparked such a deadly reaction. After the stabbing, Carmelo's friends posted an Instagram story. They said people are actually sick. Oh, hell, what? I hope we learned a valuable lesson today. Don't break people's stuff and you still be alive. Whoa, so somebody posted this, guys. This is somebody's Instagram. They posted this. Keep your hands to yourself, little man. How are you going to defend this situation on any circumstance you took an actual life over? Some BS. Yeah, so like I said, this is like a whole war going on social media. You got people posting stuff like this. Then you got other people posting, N-word and racist stuff about African Americans. Then you got the white community at war. It's just it's so sad because it's like we always are so quick to jump to race and ethnicity instead of looking at these people as humans. Just like Austin, who's the victim, his father said this is not about race or ethnicity. He said this is about two human beings, two boys And imagine the victim's father, who should be angry and enraged of his child being gone. He is the only rational person in this whole situation. The only one. Okay. So this message here, guys, I told you they're posting crazy stuff like this. It stunned viewers, with many calling it sick and heartless. Some speculate the fight may have stemmed from a broken phone, while others cling to the seating dispute theory. So they're saying that the twin went and broke the kid's phone. And that is kind of one of the allegations that people are showing, that the twins were bullies. They were very well known to bully and pick on people. They used their weight and their ability to double team on different people and tout their power around. And they ended up coming across the wrong kid this time and ended up losing their life. That is what allegedly people are saying. Whatever the truth, the post only deepened the pain for Austin's family and left Carmelo's parents in disbelief, because it's like both of them are hurting right now. The news came as a shock to Carmelo Anthony's parents. Far from the headlines they had hoped to see about their son. The opportunities from college, the pride of watching him succeed, and the joy of their shining light all slipped away instantly. Isn't that so tragic? This is their firstborn kid. Now their kid's future is gone. Oh, both of them have lost. And then Austin's family too is devastated. A young life full of promise was cut short, leaving this 4.0 student, his parents, Jeff, and his wife, his twin brother, Hunter, to mourn a loss that words can't capture. The Frisco Independent School District, where both boys were students, now face the daunting task of healing a fractured community. Wait. So they both go to the same school district. So the people keep saying that they don't know each other. Other people are saying that's not true. Carmelo Anthony's parents, the pain is unbearable. Drew, who once filled social media with pride posts, and Kala, who nurtured her son's kind spirit, now face a reality that they never imagined. So look, this is a picture of Carmelo playing football. Their beloved eldest son, once a source of joy, is behind bars, his future unsure. The family's faith, once a cornerstone of their lives, is being tested like never before. And it's like, but then there's one on the other side. The other family doesn't have their son anymore. Austin's gone. This is so, like, imagine they don't even get to talk to their son. They can't call their son from jail. They probably would rather him be in jail right now than be in a morgue. So it's like, dang, how do parents reconcile the child they raise with the actions he's accused of? And I really think, guys, Carmelo's a good kid. I think he honestly wasn't taught about self-defense. He wasn't taught about decision makings. I think this kid is so privileged and he's received so much, he was just so spoiled and had everything he ever wanted in life, which is nothing wrong with that, guys. Nothing's wrong with that. I'm just saying, I feel like he lived in this cloud of delusion, meaning like he was not really living. His parents probably didn't really sit down and talk to him about what's really going on in society. This poor kid is going to get a wide awakening of how brutal this world is. And I don't feel like his parents really sat down and talked to him about certain things. Like, for example, did they allow him to have a knife? Did they know he had a knife? Did they educate him about when he can use a knife and when not to use a knife? Like, it's just, why did he have a knife too? Like, it's just so many questions. Was he being bullied before? And is that why he carried a knife? It's just like, I feel like Carmelo's a legitimate good kid. I just think he wasn't really given the information he needed from his parents. And it's a tragic situation now that's going to lead to life in prison. Okay, it's sad too, because these answers won't bring Austin back or erase the charges Carmelo faces. Both kids, man. For two families, one grieving son, the other a future, the loss is deep. What began as a story of promise and parental pride for both parents has become a warning tale about how quickly life can separate, leaving Carmelo Anthony's family and an entire community to pick up the pieces. And I'm pretty sure I don't think Carmelo intended to take this kid's life. But again, now he's gone. It's so sad. And Austin seemed to be a really good kid too. Like I said, he's a 4.0 student. Let's see. I want to see if they have like a biography on him that I can kind of share a little bit about him. Let's see. Austin Smaycroft's father. Let's see. This is sad. God, imagine somebody, your brother dying in your arms. God, that is so sad. Ugh, guys, but okay, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The pictures of these twins look straight up evil. I ain't gonna lie. God rest their soul, rest his soul, okay? But let me show y'all. Look at that picture. He looked like he might be a bully. I'm just saying. I'm not blaming the victim here. I'm just being honest. I'm very blunt on this on YouTube. So y'all just gonna have to take it as it is. Okay. May he rest in peace. But a lot of the pictures I've seen of these kids, it just seemed very intimidating. It's kind of scary. Like, ooh, I don't want to step to this kid. He might beat me up. Okay. But anyways, this is the poor victim here, Austin. They say that they had no previous connection. Okay. They say that, but people are saying they knew each other. I don't know what's true. Okay. This is a more sweeter picture of Austin. Okay. Look at his sweet mom. They said Texas high school athlete Austin and his mom. He and his twin had a promising future. They were going to be future football stars. They were 4.0 kids. That's sad. So during the track meet, I'm trying to see if they have anything about the kid. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. They don't really have the witness. Okay, there's a witness. Let's see what the witness says, guys. According to the arrest affidavit, a witness stated that Austin requested, and I'm changing the word here, Anthony to move out from under his team's tent. Okay. So the witness is saying that he approached Carmelo. The witness claimed that in response, Anthony opened his bag and reached inside. Okay. So this is where Carmelo was wrong, bro. Guys, Carmelo had why is Carmelo out here reaching for a knife? That's what I'm trying to figure out. We need more to this story. Something about this don't sound right. Okay. A witness told police that Anthony warned Austin, touch me and see what happens. The witness told responding officers that Austin then touched Anthony, prompting Anthony to challenge him, saying something along the lines of punch me and see what happens. See, this is where the self-defense fails. This is where the kid is going to jail for life, guys. Let's just be very blunt and honest with you. Carmelo is done. The fact that he is inviting and telling and requesting Austin to touch him and to punch him is going to show to a jury that he wasn't afraid for his life. So he had no reason to exert force. A jury is going to convict him, hands down. Whether it's first-degree murder, that's a question that I feel like that could probably lead to an acquittal. The problem is he's in Texas, and if it's an all-white jury, that kid done, okay? Let's just say he done. But this is a good story to talk about because it really opens that issue up of the racial divide that we're dealing with in America. But here's Austin here on Better Days. He's a very sweet, handsome boy. Look at him, handsome boy. Sad that he died. Dang, this is a tragedy, guys. This is a tragedy. And why did Carmelo stab him in the chest? That was a little bit of that's extreme. Okay, anyways, let's keep reading what the witness says. So the witness said that Austin reportedly grabbed Anthony to ask him to move. So now he's grabbing on Anthony, okay? which is Carmelo. That's the defendant. He grabbed on the defendant. He's the initiator. The affidavit goes on to say, in response, Anthony pulled out what the witness described as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest before fleeing. Now, I feel like that was extreme because now we've read more details about Carmelo, and we know that Carmelo is 6 foot. Okay, this kid was tall. And it doesn't seem from what the witness is saying that the other twin was involved in double teaming on Carmelo at this time. So Carmelo could have defended himself without using the knife. So at this point, there is no self-defense claim in this case. No matter what people say online, there is no valid legal self-defense claim. Unless there's a different story out there that comes out in trial. If they're saying there's a video, so if there's some different video showing something else, but with the allegations we have here on screen, it's not self-defense. It's either, in my opinion, it could very well should be probably voluntary manslaughter. I think with the whole circumstances involved, I think first-degree murder, it's a good argument because the fact that he stabbed him in the chest. So, I mean, prosecutors have him there. But whether it was intentional is going to be an argument too for the defense. So that's going to be an interesting situation here. Now, the witness told the police that Austin clutched his chest and asked others to get help. Oh, that's so sad. Dang, this is really breaking my heart. Poor Austin. I mean, okay, I don't know who's what and where's what, but dang. Austin's twin brother, Hunter, was also at the meet and rushed to his brother's side, desperately tried to save him. Dang, their mother, Megan, shared. I got a phone call from Hunter and he was screaming that Austin had been stabbed. He was holding the wound. He was trying to save his brother. Oh God, this is so sad. Okay, let's see what the mom says about Austin, because again, I can't find much about Austin, but I know he's a 4.0 student. He was a football player. It looks like from those guns, maybe he was into hunting with his dad. I don't know. That's speculation. Megan mourned, my son is not here anymore. I don't understand it. He was the most amazing kid. So smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. Austin was rushed to the hospital, but despite the valiant efforts of first responders, he passed away. His brother said, I tried to help him. That's what Hunter said. He then explained that he wasn't allowed in the ambulance, adding that the first responders had yanked me off of him. This is so sad. You know, these twin boys were some handsome kids. Their parents made some beautiful boys. They were very, 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 very handsome kids. God, this is a tragedy. The thing I don't really like about this story, though, is the racial divide that it's bringing in our community. Our country already has a lot of racial divide as it is, but it's very ignorant of people to automatically blame race and ethnicity, because I don't think this really has much to do with that. I think it has to just do with two boys that made two bad decisions, you know? Okay, let's go and look at some more details about these kids. Okay, what is he saying? Since many of y'all are sharing photos of Carmelo trying to make him look bad, show the sides of your necks. Here you go. So I don't know what. Yeah, they're trying to show that they're just as. There's two sides to the story, basically. You see, he was somewhat of a good kid, but I'm like, I feel like those parents should have really talked to these kids. See. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Some comments here. Somebody said, so you don't, if your child was in his shoes, yes, he's wrong for having a knife, but who are they to tell him to move, bro? He was given permission to go speak to a friend by his coach. There was no rules against other kids from different schools sitting in certain spots. They was being bullies. They are known bullies at their school. They grabbed his bag, shoved it in his chest. The twins, along with other white gods, surrounded this young man. A brawl happened, and in the middle of being jumped and attacked, but 4 or more white kids, Buddy was stabbed. So yeah, it's definitely self-defense. I hope none of your kids ever go through anything like this. So I don't know who this person was, if they were there, but that's one person's story. You said witnesses the night before this tragic accident. The white kid Austin broke the black kid's phone and continued to smash it into the ground with his feet. The white kid, also a football player, showed up to the black kid's track meet, not knowing the black kid was prepared to defend himself. Missing a big part of the story, Austin was being mean and harassing Carmelo's girlfriend at a party a week or 2 ago. What? Guys, that is wow. See, I told you guys there was more to this story. Anyways, let's read this more. Carmelo took up for his girlfriend. There was a fight and Austin broke Carmelo's phone. Yesterday, when he was confronted about sitting in the wrong area, the boys argued and Carmelo's backpack was grabbed and he was called an N-word. So they were calling him racial slurs when Austin tried to forcibly make him move. I don't condone violence or racism, but there are several lessons for us to teach our kids here. Also adding, my son is a junior here in Frisco and knew about the fight, but didn't witness it that night. So guys, people are saying that I told you guys there was something more to this story. There's something more. It didn't make sense to me why he just used a knife out of nowhere. So apparently, allegedly, witnesses say that the twins know Carmelo. And then the week before this happened, the twins were basically assaulting Carmelo's girlfriend. There was a fight before this a week ago with the same twins. So it probably makes sense why he came to that track meet with the knife. Because he probably was afraid of these kids. They have done it before to him, and allegedly, and now they're at the track meet, and so he probably came there to protect himself. This person says they won't see it as self-defense, whether all the evidence will point to self-defense. They still won't charge it as self-defense because it was a death of a Caucasian boy from an African-American male. And we know this, the only way we can get justice is by standing together for this young man. That's sad. The kid shouldn't have put himself in the situation. He went to that side knowing they already had problems premeditated. The white boy bullying was known to everyone, so he picked a fight on the wrong day. Both these boys lost their lives over foolishness. It came out it was a Molly in his system, and the police made a statement that the media is giving false information and Carmelo and Austin had issues before, and that the victim had been bullying him. Read a statement from the police chief. Wow. So guys, there has been a history between these boys. And it makes sense now why he had the knife. Because I told you there was something more. It's like, why did he go to the extreme of just up and stabbing this, boy out of nowhere? So he got tired of being picked on by this kid. This person says, I knew it was he was being picked on allegedly by trailer park trash. You just not out the blue going to stab somebody unless it's self-defense or mentally ill, not knowing what you have done. He just got tired of that SHIT. I don't think he was trying to unalive him. He just got tired. Wow, allegedly. And somebody says, and this is why I said it should be manslaughter. They said he definitely will be found guilty for manslaughter because he broke the rules by having a weapon on grounds, even though he defended himself. This is going to be a tough hearing. I just hope a lot of people show up and support him. Doesn't look like self-defense by what witnesses are saying. They got into it a night before. The next day, he goes to the meet with a knife, just by chance goes into the Metcalf boys' tent. Really? That sounds premeditated. Okay, guys, this is going to be a tough one. You can see all the comments going on forever. And they got people just posting negative stuff. But here's a story about Carmelo. because people are kind of trying to provide, other true perspectives of this kid, because apparently people are painting him as just this villain and just terrible angry black kid. You know how they treat black people. But anyway, here's a story of what Carmelo has done in the past. They said, we're not going to let him be judged by people who just found out he existed maybe 3 or 4 days ago. You are still very much loved out here, Melo, and all heroes do wear capes. So this is a story of how he saved this drowning boy. That's the picture of the boy that he saved in the past. He rescued him. So it shows he's a good guy, a good kid. He helped a kid. And that kid's alive because of it. He said, I swear my heart is shattered. I kept saying this young man looked like Carmelo who saved Gino life. See, from the looks of the article, it's him. And we forever gonna stand with you. I'll never forget. Really great kid. I can't stand bullies. So this kid was in the news for saving a drowning boy. And this is the boy that he saved here in the picture. I don't want to get in the picture, but here, this is the picture of the boy that he saved. Carmelo saved this drowning kid's life, and he ended up getting, recognized for what he had done. They said, your internet mommies, aunties, and brothers and cousins are praying for you. Hold on to your faith. I hope they do support this kid, because he's going to go be in for it. This kid is actually really is a good kid. To save a drowning kid. They said Carmelo never should have brought a knife to a track meet. And white boys shouldn't bring entitlement, violence, and unchecked aggression to school either. But here we are. This isn't really about a knife. It's about survival. It's about a black teenager navigating a world that has proven time and time again that nobody will protect him. Not teachers, not coaches, not administrators, not police, certainly not the media. He didn't bring a weapon to start a fight. He brought it because he knew what could have happened if one found him. The people clutching their pearls about a knife at a track meet live in willful ignorance of what black kids endure just to get through the day. You're mad about the tool he brought, but silent about the threats he brought it for. You're more outraged by his defense than by the violence that made it necessary. Did you ask what kind of environment makes a black boy feel so unsafe he thinks a blade is his only backup? Did you ask what it's like to show up to school every day knowing someone might call you a racial slur, but put their hands on you and treat you like you don't belong? Or are you only asking questions that reinforce the idea that black kids shouldn't be perfect, passive, and preferably unalived? Be honest. What you really mean is Carmelo Anthony shouldn't have been prepared to protect himself. And that's exactly the problem. That's what's making you uncomfortable, not the knife, not the track meet, not the tragedy. What's shaking you is that a black boy didn't fold. He didn't beg. He didn't unalive. He defended himself and he lived. This isn't about school policy and safety protocols. This is about a century-old fear that lives in the marrow of white America. The fear that one day black people might respond to violence with brutal resistance. They might defend our own lives, even if it means white life is lost in the process. That fear runs deep. It's old. It's primal. Sorry. Okay, she wrote a lot. It's the same fear that rationalized slave patrols, lynch mobs, mass incarceration, stand your ground laws that somehow never seem to apply to black kids when black kids evoke them. It's the fear that the oppressed might stop turning the other cheek. That might say, not today, that we might survive. You're uncomfortable because a knife was present. You're uncomfortable because the unalive victim wasn't black this time, because the aggressor didn't fit your script, because a black child claimed the right to his own safety and exercised it. This case is dragging something out of America's collective subconscious. The terror that black self-defense disrupts the racial order. It says, you do not own me, you do not control me, and I will not die quietly. Wow. So that was some lady's perspective there. And again, these are not my thoughts. These are someone else's. I'm just reading people's posts. Okay, they said Carmelo Anthony posted the photo on the right just hours before stabbing Austin to death. This is somebody else's perspective. They said the other photo in the middle was shared 6 weeks ago. Austin was a twin and he bled to death in the hands of his own twin brother. 3 days ago, 2 was Austin. And was not carrying this news. So this is something they're showing the negative side of everything. Okay, what is this person saying? Goes off on Black community for creating GoFundMe for Carmelo. Okay, I swear my heart is shattered. I kept saying this young man looked like Carmelo, who saved Gino life. So again, he saved a drowning boy. Let's see what else. I was trying to find this one post that they had about him somewhere. Okay, this is pretty controversial. She wrote this here. Oh God, I don't even know if I want to read this. It's so controversial, y'all. Woo! I don't know. I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna keep it on the screen for you guys if you want to read that one because it's a little controversial. Hi, everybody. Hi, Christina. They're saying the twins have the football jock mentality. Yes, girl. They do. Hi, Alicia. Oh, wow. Bad looking pictures on both sides. Yes, girl. I knew the N-word would be used. Exactly. Especially in Texas. Oh, my favorite people are here. Oh, my gosh. I love all of you guys. Tavia said his pick is given Jonathan Majors. Girl, it sure is. It is. This is so sad. Ugh. But I wanted to show you guys something here. So they both have these GoFundMes. Individuals are doing a GoFundMe for Carmelo for his legal fees. And then they're doing a GoFundMe for Austin. This is what somebody else is saying. I'm telling you guys, the different sides that are what people are saying is so bad. Look what this person wrote. White on white, silence. Black on black, super silence. White on black, burn the country down. Black on white, what's his defense fund? So this is a Caucasian lady saying this. I'm telling you, this just really brought out a lot of racial divide. I don't know why everything has to be racial divide. This country's so tense, y'all. It's a lot of just, Jesus. So people are mad because he's got it. They have a legal defense for him. But again, it's because this kid was defending himself, allegedly. And they suspected that the other kid was racist. And they're saying Carmelo doesn't hate white people. He was not looking for trouble. That's what these people are saying. Again, and I don't know what side. I don't think he should have had an idea.
Hey, you're a very personal guy.
Okay, guys. So I wanted to show you this video. This is a video of Carmelo in real time. Somebody wanted to share a video of him with his friends, defending his friends. Let's read this post here. They said Carmelo Anthony, a 17-year-old currently facing a you-know-what charge in Texas, is drawing unexpected attention, not for his legal troubles, but for a moment of composure and character caught on video during a recent street interview, guys. Look, he's not as bad as people are saying. In the clip, Anthony is seen with a small group of friends participating in an on-the-spot interview. When the situation takes a sudden turn, a bystander described by witnesses as aggressive and confrontational begins shouting at the videographer in a condescending tone. The group appears taken aback, except for Anthony, despite the serious allegations hanging over him. Before this video, the teenager didn't hesitate to intervene. In a calm but commanding voice, Anthony, and Anthony is his middle name. His name is Carmelo, but they call him Anthony, addressed the disruptive man, asking him to treat the videographer with respect. His words were measured and articulate and drawing praise from some who viewed the video online. The moment has sparked debate on social media, with many noting the contrast between Anthony's legal circumstances and his behavior in the video. While his future remains uncertain and his case moves through the court, this brief interaction has added a surprising layer to the public's perception of him, highlighting the complexity of judging character in the face of controversy. They want you to believe this gentleman was a gun-touting thug, but he really isn't. Allegedly, that's what people are saying. Now you have to ask, let's look at this video. I want you guys to look at this video to see how Carmelo handles this conflict versus what happened in this situation leading to Austin's being unalived. Now, remember, the question we're trying to figure out is why he handled two situations differently. So let's look at this one first, and then we'll talk about the current situation.
I can tell, like, talking to you right now, you're a good dude.
Thank you, bro.
And like, just like you're like, no matter what you do, even if God forbid this doesn't work out, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be a good dude.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
All right, so like, let's say we are gonna watch one of your videos tonight. What would it be? Like, give me one.
What you say, bro?
Yeah. What's your favorite one?
Right, maybe.
A little more to the right. See the TV at least.
Nah.
Yeah, this is our tailgate, so a little more to the right so I can see the fucking TV.
Oh shit! Hey, bro, you don't gotta talk to him like that, bro. He didn't.
I'm just saying, maybe. Hey, could you just move, bro, please?
No, hey, bro, it's okay. Just move.
He doesn't mean like.
It's okay, move, but
I don't mean to be a.
no, but I know, but you have to talk to him like that. No, I'm saying this is my guy though, bro. Like, no, but hey, no, but bro, you cursed at him and stuff, bro. All you had to say was, hey, bro, can you please move? This is respect, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, no, he don't mean it like that.
Is he drunk? Is he drunk?
I don't know, but maybe.
I just don't like disrespect, bro. He can talk to me like that. Don't talk to him like that. He's just doing his job.
Hey, we're good. No, hey,
let's just respect each other, bro. For sure.
I'm not trying to be. No, yeah.
You cussed at him, bro.
Bro, he's fucking away the TV is my tailgate. I can
But you didn't have to cuss at him though, bro. He's not a child, bro.
What's the problem?
No, he just,
Hey, back up. What's the problem?
no, he just cussed at my bro, and I was like,
He said y'all get up. He asked you to get up. Hey, what's the problem?
Is he drunk? Because if he's drunk, then it's okay. I'm not. Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
No, nobody was arguing with him or nothing. He just cursed at him like he was a child. And I was like, hey, bro, you don't disrespect everybody, you know? No, I'm just explaining to you what happened.
Okay.
For sure.
Good. Have a good day.
For sure.
Don't walk up to him.
I'm not walking towards him. I'm walking that way.
Oh my God, look at that other guy's energy. Can you see how that man was like annoyed, the one in the pink shirt? He seemed very annoyed, like, don't be getting angry, black boy, calm down, like trying to shut him down, like, don't look at him. There was some racial tension in that video. I'm just keeping it real, from the guy with the salmon type shirt on at the end. But anyways, you see in that video, even though Carmelo was being very stern, he kept his cool. It didn't like he wasn't trying to fight the guy. You know, he was just defending his friend. So, well, what's the difference between this video versus him stabbing Austin? Well, allegedly, like I was saying, people are saying that Austin and Carmelo had encounters before this situation, and that Austin had bullied Carmelo's girlfriend the week before, and there had been a violent encounter with those twins. So these twins aren't the nice pearly white teenagers that people have painted them to be, allegedly. Now, he is the victim, and it's very sad that he is taken, he's gone, especially a twin. Let's hear we're going to hear an interview from the brother here, Hunter.
This kid, before I knew his name this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. And he's like, make me move. Also grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I try to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid.
Ooh, that video was very sad. We're actually going to look at a interview of the mom and him more in detail, but that's very sad of that interview of the brother. Dang, imagine a identical twin brother losing his twin brother. That is, oh my God, this kid is never going to be the same. But it's a lesson to be learned, you know. I guarantee you, Hunter is going to live a different life after this. You know, it's unjustified on both sides. Now let's read this. This is from a young lady here. She says here, because I don't know if she's going to add some context about the knife. But again, like I was saying, the reason why they're alleging he brought this knife is for protection because he had been in a prior altercation with these same twin boys, allegedly a week before. So it doesn't appear Austin is being fully honest about saying he doesn't know Carmelo and he's seeing him for the first time. Apparently people, and I don't know if these witnesses are going to come and talk about it at the trial. Maybe the defense attorney is going to find the witnesses that corroborate this allegation that he knows the twins. Carmelo knows these twins, and these twins were aggressive with him and his girlfriend the week before. So anyways, let's look at this statement here from this woman. She says, Carmelo Anthony worked 2 jobs and just finished his shift. He carried a small knife for protection, commuting to and from work. Okay, so it looks like he had just finished his shift before coming to the track meet. And that the reason why he had this knife is because he carried it while he commuted to and from work. So I kind of wonder, though, about that, guys, because he did have a Lexus. Did he drive his Lexus to his 2 jobs? Because if he's driving his Lexus to his 2 jobs, what's the need for a knife? Now, I could understand if he needed a knife if he's taking public transportation and he's having to walk certain distances, but I don't know. I still have questions about the knife. I do know that they're saying allegedly he had a prior altercation with those twins. Maybe he brought it for that situation. I don't know, but they're saying he was carrying it for protection while he went to work. He attended the track meet, and as rain started to fall, he took cover under the nearby tent where he was approached by a group of kids. So they're saying a group of kids were attacking him. So if this is what really happened, I can see why he did what he did. So like I said, here's the GoFundMe. Wow, he's already at $90,000 for his law fees. And then I know the young boy Austin, the teenager, he also has a GoFundMe. I'm not sure why it's not posted here, but he does have a GoFundMe. Okay, let's see. Here is the video. Here is the image, guys, of where this whole thing happened. You see the 2 different tents here? So it looks like Carmelo just took cover under this tent just to get out of the rain, and that's where all this whole fight unfolded. I don't know why he didn't go into this tent. Their tents are near each other too, so I don't know. Maybe he just was hurrying up to try to get out the rain. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see. We're going to go look at some interviews of the family. I wanted to see if they have one of the dad. But yeah, if you go online, there's just so much different speculation on both sides. It's like this racial war going on. It's very sad and tense. But let's look at some interviews that the family did. This is rest his soul, but this is Austin's mom. And this was an interview she did. So let's hear what she had to say.
The kid was mad. My son is not here anymore. And I don't understand. Just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore.
Now you can hear her say, just because the kid is mad, my son is not here anymore. Okay, that is not fully accurate. So again, rest her son's soul, but that wasn't why that's not why this whole situation happened here. So a lot of times in the racial divides that we deal with, they always like to say that the black person is mad, the angry black person. And that's what she's using here, is the kid was mad. But there's a whole different other side to this story. So let's keep going though.
and I don't understand it.
Just tell me about what happened today.
I don't know. I got a phone call from Hunter. He was screaming that Austin had been stabbed. I was at work, and so I drove. I work in Grapevine, so I drove up to the hospital straight away. I actually beat the ambulance there. Yeah, I saw them to have him come out. He was on a lot of machines, and it didn't take long for them to come in to say that he had passed. So, not sure, senseless act of a boy that was in the wrong tent, and my son doing the right thing by telling that boy that he needed to be removed from where he was. And
so yeah, Carmelo shouldn't have used a knife. Hi, Bo Johnson. Hi, good to see you. It has been a while, right? I've been busy with work. I was saying at the beginning of the video. But anyways, back to the story. So she was saying that her sons did the right thing by telling this kid to get up and leave. There has to be accountability on both sides. And in order for the kids to learn from this, there has to be some truth here that no, her kids didn't do the right thing. She unfortunately is a beautiful mom who lost her son. So I understand she's in mourning. But her kids were bullying and aggressive toward the kid. That's not the right thing. The right thing would have been to talk to an adult, a school administrator, staff, a coach, and had the coach approach the kid and say, hey, you have to leave. Had they took that approach, we would not be watching this news tragedy right now. And Austin would be here. But I wanted to just come in and talk about it, that part. Yeah, Bo, this is a very tragic story here. And it's really sparking a racial division and hatred in our community. And I really think it's important to talk about it because it's very sad that a lot of people are painting each side as just bad and using racial connotations. And it's clouding the tragedy that happened. It's clouding the overall lesson that we can all learn from this, because a lot of people are now using it to push their racial hatred against one another.
just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore. And I don't understand it.
Tell me about Austin. What do you want people to know about your boy?
Oh, he was the most amazing kid. Oh, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. He just wanted to play football. His life was going to the gym and working out and being a leader on his football team. And he just had such ambitions and a drive that it's hard to find in a kid. And he's just such a good spirit. And so many kids loved him. And his brother lost his best friend.
They're twins, right?
Yeah, identical twins. Yeah.
They've been like,
they are the best of friends. Like, just I'm so worried about my son because he's gonna have to face this world alone now, because he had a brother that was with him the whole time, and now he's gonna have to do it alone. And I'm just so worried about him. I really am.
is Hunter with Austin?
Man, I'm so worried about him too. Imagine having a twin brother that you've had your whole life in your life, and now your brother is gone. And it's your twin brother. Twin brothers are like soulmates. They do everything together. This kid's never gonna be the same. Like, just never. Oh, the parents are just, God, this could have been avoided. But I'm not gonna lie, people were saying these twins were evil. I mean, a lot of people are saying that, and I feel like this trial is gonna really shed light on a lot of truths, because the media and a lot of people online aren't telling the truth about both sides of what really went on. You know, both kids had some kind of anger issues going on, because as you can see, also Carmelo has some anger issues he needed to deal with too, that led to this as well.
He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from, he was trying to save his brother. But I think he said he saw when he took his last breath and before the CPR came back in. So for what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was too little too late.
What can the community do for your family?
They need to support the kids at the school. Austin was loved by so many people. They need to know that there's other people out there for them and not against them, you know. And Frisco Memorial has got a football program it's in a process, and we want everybody to know that it's a family and they're there together. So
Everyone around you knows he's a great kid. He's a good kid.
it's in a process. And
So I'm gonna move on to the next part. Oh man, I feel so sad for this mom. Oh, I just want to hug her. There's no grief than losing her son. Like a parent never imagines having to bury their child. So it's the worst grief for a parent. But let's move on to hear from Hunter, the twin brother, and he's going to share his perspective of what he says occurred. Again, there are some inconsistencies in his story because the twin claims he'd never seen this guy before, never seen Carmelo, and he tries to downplay what really happened. But if you listen closely, you can tell that he does corroborate some of the things the witnesses say. He does say that his brother had Carmelo's belongings. That was wrong on all levels. The twins had no business touching anyone else's belongings or trying to enforce some type of regulations on another student. Again, they should have contacted a coach or a faculty member to approach this kid in the first place. But let's go on to hear from what Hunter has to say.
we want everybody to know that it's a family and they're there together. So
Oh, man. Thank you. He's a good kid. We just got a little altercation, and that's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone around you knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude, and just took my brother. Just he didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it could be mine so soon. I'm not best friend with my brother my whole life, but if y'all could just not y'all, sorry. Just thank y'all for just comforting us, and the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me. And I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family. So we'll just stay together. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the artwork together, sports, you name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. There's a lot of big.
Oh my God, guys, that just made me cry. Oh, it's so sad. Oh my God, guys, it is so sad. My gosh, imagine losing, like he said, they were like one person. I used to have these friends that were twins, and I remember they literally did everything together. Even if one got a boyfriend, the other one felt so lonely without the other one. It was just this traumatic thing. But oh my gosh, guys, this made me cry. I don't know about you guys, but that is so, oh my God, I can't imagine what this boy is going through. Poor Hunter, man. He's probably thinking of what he could have done. He's probably blaming himself. So sad.
Keep other stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. So it's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side, no matter what, just pass away like that.
Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
It was just senseless.
it was really senseless. Really, I don't know.
Man, every time I see him say that, when he like kind of stumbles over his words, it's like knocks the wind. It's like it's so sad. It's like he's replaying it in his mind. And every time he gets to that part, it like literally knocks the wind out of him. Oh, poor Hunter, dude. That is so sad, guys. Man, you guys keep his family in your prayers. We're going to listen finally to an interview from Austin's dad, just to hear his perspective of what happened and we'll wrap it up from there. But this is just all around tragic. So let's hear from the dad. I think the dad is a very strong man, a very honorable man. Just a little bit of background about his dad. Austin, the twins' dad, had cancer. He was battling cancer. And he said his kids, his two twin boys, was the reason that he fought for his life. You know, his children, his two twin boys, were his reason for survival, was his inspiring force that kept him alive. So that was just a very touching story that he shared. So let's hear his interview.
What happened? How did you get the call? How did you figure out what happened to your son?
Well, it started with a call from his football coach who was not at the track meet and said, I think Austin has been stabbed. And I said, "Where at?" And he said, "Kukendall Stadium." I said, "I'm on my way." So I drove up there, went through a load of police officers, and was able to see my son on the gurney with a huge hole and blood all over him. And they were pumping him. He wasn't breathing, and his eyes were rolled back in his head. So I had to find his brother. They're twins. And so I found Hunter and tried to get him under control as best we could. And then I loaded him up in my car and we drove to the hospital as quickly as possible. And we waited. And when the doctors came in and said that he didn't make it, it was tough. My son took it extremely hard. I'm still in shock, to be honest. I mean, I'm numb. So it really hasn't hit me. And I don't believe any parent should ever have to bury their child. And I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that. And maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like I feel today. So I've already forgiven the person who stabbed him. God's going to take care of everything. God's taking care of my son. I kissed him. When I kissed him goodbye for the last time, I told him it's not goodbye, it's see you later. So I just have to trust in God and my faith to pull us through. I don't understand his plan. We're all subject to trial and tribulations. God didn't say life was going to be fair or wasn't going to be hard, but he said he'll always be beside you and never leave your side. So we're going to lean deep into our faith. There's a vigil tonight at our church at 7 o'clock. I will be attending also. The outpouring of students and coaches and friends and family that showed up at the hospital immediately. It was just shows the way my son touched people's lives. He was voted team MVP of the football team this year. He carried a 4.0. He was on National Honor Society. He's ranked in the top 50 of the state in his position. He's having D1 colleges contact him. He had a great life ahead of him. And to be taken away, it's such a tragedy. I mean, I can't even tell you how I feel because I don't know how I feel. I feel numb at the moment.
Yeah.
I just hope that this doesn't happen to any other parent and their child. But I do hope for justice. I do hope for justice because this is unacceptable.
And the fact that, someone was immediately taken into custody, they know who did this, they are charging him with murder. I mean, how does that make you feel that police immediately got this person?
First of all, I feel sorry for that individual because he's now made a mistake that's going to cost him the rest of his life. The hard part that cost me is I lost my son, and his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
Oh, guys, that is so gut-wrenching. Oh my God. Oh God, that is so sad, guys. So sad. Oh, the dad is just, to me, a very strong man. He's an honorable man. He's a man of faith. It seems like all of these people are men and women of faith. The dad also has chimed in regarding a lot of the racial divide going on, and he wants people to stop. So let's read the article about that, and then we will close out the live. But here's what this article is really shedding light on. Austin's father speaks up on racial attack debate. He said, "My son is gone. Please don't." So let's read about it. So here, let's see. I don't want to get into all that. They said the murder took a political turn, or the unaliving took a political turn, with conservative commenters questioning the silence over the incident. White Lives Matter started trending on X, while some protested the politicization of the incident. In an interview with Fox News, Austin's father said, "My son is gone and he will never come home again. I want to clarify something right off the start because I've already heard some rumors and gossip. This is not a race thing. This was not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Try not to turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize it. It's not." So I'm glad that he's really trying to shed light on that. Like I said, his dad is just very, very rational, good, caring man that is shedding light on the fact that this is not all about race, because a lot of racist people out there who are just hateful are trying to use it to push their negative, sick agendas, and it's really disgusting. I'm trying to see if I can find that. Oh, here it is. Let's hear him talk about it.
As a parent of a 14-year-old boy and an older man who's now making his own way in the world, I just can't imagine how you're facing the rest of your life without your son. I wanted to ask you this question. I know, 17 years old, amazing. And he was an amazing kid, too. We'll get you to speak about him in just a moment. But I think a lot of people at home are saying, wait a second, how does this happen? He goes to a track meet on Wednesday and is murdered. What happened?
I wish I had all the answers. The answer is my son is gone and he'll never come home again. I want to clarify something right off the start because I've already heard some rumors and some gossip. This was not a race thing. And this is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Do not turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice and it affected both his family and my family forever. It's a very unfortunate thing, but I know exactly what was happening. His brother was there who tried to save him and he died in his arms. So if you weren't there, please don't spread rumors.
His twin brother Hunter was there, and as we pointed out at the top of this, his twin brother tried to save him, couldn't save him, and Austin.
So I really love that the father pointed that out, that this is not a race thing. And a lot of racist people out there who are trying to use and push their negative agendas, they need to stop. Just like the father said, this is a human thing. Two human people, two boys who couldn't control their emotional impulses. That's what it's about. And what the lesson that we can learn from this is we need to talk to our kids about choices that we make, controlling our impulses and the decisions that we make and the consequences that those decisions can lead to. Sometimes these kids live in like lives of rose-colored glasses, two privileged kids, truly had the support and the backing of both of their parents. They came from good backgrounds. They both were very intelligent kids. One was had a 3.7 GPA, football player, track star. That's Carmelo. And then Austin with his twin brother, 4.0 GPA, great football player, had a lot of offers going to go to college. And his brother had to hold him in his arms as he lost his life. This is just an all-around sad situation that could have been avoided. Number one, had both parents talk to their kids about impulses, because I'm pretty sure both parents already seen indications that these kids had certain anger issues that they couldn't regulate. Both of these teenagers. It wasn't just Carmelo, it was also Austin that was dealing with bullying people, him and his brother, allegedly. So the lesson we can learn is we need to communicate and teach our children about how to regulate their behavior, the choices they make, the consequences. Teach them about the law. They have to learn what's really going on in this world, because this could have all been avoided. And it's so sad. Let's stop making this tragedy about race, and let's look at it as a human thing. And let's honor Austin and honor and respect his parents by doing so. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I know, guys, I could be very wordy, and I like to take my time, y'all, and really, really get into the nitty gritty. Y'all know how I am. So please forgive me for using all your time. But that's how I am. I usually like to just take my time and go through the full details to get the full background of everybody involved, because that's really how we learn. And my channel is all about learning and making better choices in our life so that we can have a better future. All right, you guys, have a lovely night. And remember to litigate your case with dignity and grace.
She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another case, cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another